The EFF's recent singing of the "Kill the Boer, Kill the Farmer" chant has caused an uproar. The controversial struggle chant has divided the opinions of many South Africans along political and racial lines. Some view it as racist hate speech amounting to incitement to cause harm against whites in the country. Others say such opinions are hysterical overreactions to a harmless struggle chant. We have invited a clinical psychologist whose master's dissertation explored the psychological impact of anti-apartheid struggle songs on former members of Umkhonto Sizwe. Joining us now is Siphelele Nguse via Zoom. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Nguse. Perhaps maybe just give us a summary of your study on anti-apartheid struggle songs.
Morning, Policy. Thank you for inviting me. Okay, just to give you a summary of the study itself, the study was informed by firstly participating in the student movement and also singing some of those songs, but also wanting to understand what is the psychological impact of those songs in terms of those that had sang those songs even before, in the generations before us. Then I went on to interview former MK combatants that reside in Pietermaritzburg with an intention of understanding really what is the historical origin of struggle songs and what impact did they have during the struggle against apartheid, particularly in the Umkhonto Sizwe camps and with various detachments of Umkhonto Sizwe. So what I found is that struggle songs have quite a lot of potential in terms of healing and also in terms of uniting those that were engaged in the struggle. They also played a significant role in communicating the struggle, communicating the message in the struggle during apartheid, even to people that would not be able to understand the struggle itself, but through songs, they were able to communicate that through various channels. That was also through, let's make an example with the Amandla ensemble that toured the world with Oliver Tambo, and they played an important role in communicating what the people of South Africa were going through. Amandla ensemble was a jazz detachment of Umkhonto Sizwe. Those songs also played quite a huge role also in uniting South African combatants with other nations in the African continent and also in the diaspora. They also sought to, some of the songs also were an amalgamation of the struggles in different continents, in different countries within the continent. For example, the Toi Toi, we got it through ZANU, comrades of ZANU PF, or ZANU at the time, that were led by Joshua Nkomo. We then integrated it to form part of the struggle songs and also form part of the liberation of Africa as a whole and South Africa in particular.
All right, those are some fascinating findings. Yeah, continue, yeah?
What I also then got to understand and discover from struggle songs is that they can also be used in functional ways, if I can put it as such. And within the ANC, there are songs such as Abahamba, Yososala Sincenga that sought to really, that were divisive and that were not in any way sought to unite the organization at that time. And they also sought to play an important role in just instilling divisions within Umkhonto Sizwe at a particular time. And also some were also very tribal in so many ways, but the tribal ones played quite two roles. One was sought to divide Umkhonto Sizwe along tribal lines, but they also went on to unite Umkhonto Sizwe also along tribal lines, because you would hear songs that were sang from the Xhosa tradition, for example, and those that were sang from Zulu tradition, Basotho tradition, Batswana tradition, Bavenda traditions, and they would be used in a combined way. Hence, we find some of them with multiple languages that are communicated in the songs themselves.
Right, intriguing findings there, I must add. And in your expert opinion, as a clinical psychologist, could there be a causative effect of chanting "Kill the Boer, Kill the Farmer" to farm murders?
Thank you, Policy, for the question. Look, as a psychologist, let's just go to that. Part of my work is really about healing, and part of healing is to ensure that we have uncomfortable conversations. Part of those uncomfortable conversations is also going to our history as a nation with an intention of building a nation moving forward. That can only be done by having honest, transparent conversations. They might be emotionally charged, because that is what conversations can do sometimes. They can be very disruptive, and they can ensure that we have those conversations with an intention of building a united nation. So I do not think that they play a significant role in white genocide. In fact, there is nothing that we can refer to as white genocide in our country. Studies have proven actually that it's a myth, and there's a function that it seeks to serve. And that function that it seeks to serve is also to justify, even in some instances, the murder of black workers in farms. In fact, statistically, there are quite a lot more murders of farm workers compared to farm owners. So let's make an example. There would be a dispute around wages in the farms, which is something that happens regularly. And if the farm owner then takes a decision to murder those farm workers, they have a justification that they wanted to murder the person. And that is the narrative that is going to follow in our society. So we must try by all means to separate facts from fiction and use scientific thinking into how then do we ensure that we don't swallow these myths, because there's a function that they serve in our society.